Right, do I need to read anything out, Michael, regarding this? Apologies for absence, we've got that, though, that they're in the book. In fact, there's only Councillor Vernon again, that's not here tonight. So apologies for absence.
Sorry, no.
This shows members of EPI of personal interest in the item to be discussed. Anybody? No.
I don't know, haven't got that much.
When you get to the skate parks, if. Yeah.
3, to identify items which the press and public may be excluded. Public bodies admission to meetings Act 1960, Section 1, and Paragraph 2. 19 to this one that's identified, which is 1913. If you have a look at that.
What was that there, sorry? 19?
13. No, sorry.
XII.
23,
Oh, was it?
1923. 1913, sorry, I do beg your pardon. 1913, regarding complaint regarding allotment, that does need to go in confidential session, because again it's legal advice. Okay, so we happen to move that one when we get there. Right, I'm going to identify that. Item 4, confirm it's a meeting of Parish Council held on Monday 18th of May, Monday 1st of June, and finance meeting held on Wednesday 6th of May. We've all got those. We'll come to your 1st of June. Shall we take that one? Oh, sorry, 18th of May. We're doing 18th of May. Everybody there? That's the annual council meeting held on the 18th of May 2015. Has anybody got any items you want to raise?
Can I propose,
On list.
if nobody's got no objection, can I propose that we accept them?
Second for that? Yeah. Second for John, thank you. Can I take a vote on that, please? All those in favour, thank you. Okay, can we move on to Monday the 1st of June? It's everybody, that's on the desk, it's not on the side.
Can I just call you? Item 3615, disclosure of members' interests. Says Councillor Thornton declared a personal interest as Mr. Toll and Mrs. James, candidates for co-option, were friends of his. I didn't say they were friends of mine, I declared a personal interest. Without offending the two people, we're not actually friends.
Clearly, I haven't got any friends.
Well, I probably haven't got no friends. The reason is that's actually wrong, because that looks as though I have some form of advantage, which that's the wrong.
To be fair, I think Stuart did say he knew them.
Well, I think, yeah, but the point I'm making is, I know both the person, but what I'm saying is, I didn't say they were friends, because that implies I know them very well, and I don't know.
Give us a word then which you'd like to.
Acquaintances.
Alright, I'll use the word acquaintance then. I mean, just for clarity, the reason I said it was, just for clarity, Mr. James lives, I think, about 5 doors away from me, but I think up until that meeting we hadn't seen each other about a year, if I remember rightly, so. Yeah, but I'm just making sure that we need to be quite squeaky clean, because people here are quite good at reporting certain counts to the standards board.
Christine, are you happy with that?
Yes, we're friends.
just good friends.
So you're happy with that?
Yeah. I'm not, but she is.
Right, thank you. Can I have a proposer and second, please?
Yeah.
Madam Stewart. All those in favour, please. please show. Can I just have that, see that again, please, ma'am? Right, thank you. Thank you. Finance meeting, Wednesday, 6th of May. This is going back and forth.
Can I propose that we accept, or we confirm the minutes of the Wednesday, 6th of May for the finance meeting?
John, second up for that, please. John, you second it. So all those in favour, please, show. Again, Councillor Mann.
I wasn't there.
No, it doesn't matter, no. Was any against those? Just for the sake of confirmation, no. Sign date minutes as two regular meetings, I've done that. Permit any councillor-elect from the co-option meeting who has not yet signed declaration of acceptance of office to sign the declaration at or before the next ordinary meeting of the council. Everybody's signed that, so... Item 7, to approve cooperative bank resolution regarding bank signatories mandate. Yeah, we can do it. Right, so... We've all got a copy of that.
Yeah.
Right. After the last 7 minutes. You got that?
Yeah.
Everybody got that?
Can I just ask for this one, what are we actually approving? Approve that you sign it, and what's it actually, what's it actually telling us, in brief? Because I lost the will to live halfway through it. It's an agreement between us and the cooperative bank to say we will comply with their rules, regulations, etc. Similar to what you would sign when you open a bank
I
account.
don't intend to read through.
Right. If it's in that vein,
I can't see it if that's small.
I'll propose that we allow the chairman and the clerk to sign it.
Okay, everybody happy with that? Can I propose? Send it.
Get it signed.
All those in favour, please. Thank you. Item 8, to consider approve grant to Anston Parish Council Recreation Ground. Item 1. This is the one that we've brought out in the charity meeting. The grant is £13,000, payment in time for employment costs of June 2015, £4,111.43.
I move that we approve that, yeah.
I'll second it, unless somebody else wants to.
Do you want to word, John? No, second. Okay, that's fine. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. To consider approve grant to Little Mester AFC. Does anybody want to? Oh, where the
Thank you.
British Airways pays for the football.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I can do that's...
I'd like to move that we place the approval of all non-essential grants on hold for the time being until we've really had chance to fully investigate the finances.
This is allocated, there is a section of the budget for grants up to £2,000, which allows us to do that, but it's something that we do and we'll look at again. So I think that it is covered in the budget. It's a question of, do you want to make a grant to the football club, and if so, how much? So it's not, the money's there, it's not something we've got time.
Can I just come in? Is maybe a bit helpful for Drew. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, potentially. what we normally do is when we get grants come in, let's say we have a budget, I think it's about £2,000, we decide if we're going to give the grant, and normally, if it's a local group that's solely in Anston, we normally grant £100. If it's a group, say at Dinnington, but it involves people from Anston, then we'd probably look at £100. Sorry, £50, I went wrong way around. £100 if you're inside and £50 if you're outside. Yeah, I know what you're saying about these grants, because I think we should look at this later in the year, because we give out a massive amount of grant money. Can I just go back to on this one? First thing is, at item F, is this organisation open to anyone in Anston? And it says no. Which, is that a mistake or is that true? I don't know. On item F, on the grant application form, sorry. And the other thing is, did you say Little Mice to play on our football?
If I can just clarify that too, I saw that one. It says it's not open to people under 18. I think it is slightly misleading. But if you read below, it says, is the organisation open to anyone in Anston? And the answer is no, because if no, please specify any restrictions, e.g. age group. Well, they said
right,
it's got to be 18
so
plus, so it's about anybody.
Right, I understand what you're saying now. Right, the other thing is, did you say that the Little Meister plays on our pitch here?
Yes.
So are we going to give them a grant for them to pay us back for the hire of the football pitch? Because that's what's happened in the past. We give a grant out with one hand, and they give us it back a couple of weeks later on the hire of the football pitch.
Well, it may be that this is the bond that they pay.
But again,
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell them how to pay the money, or if we give them the grant, I can't dictate.
I understand it. I'm not against this in principle. The point I'm getting at is, we specify if a football team's now playing because of the past debts, we now specify we need £100 bond. But if this is what they're doing is I'm not picking on Little Mice in particular, I'm talking in general, but if we're giving a grant of £100 to a team and then they're going to use that to give back to us a bond, to me it's a bit of a funny exercise.
It says, I mean, it's one of these things, there's lots of people that use this all and everything else that we do give grants to. Sorry, Chen, I'll just come in a minute. We give grants to lots of people that use this all, which invariably finds its way back to us one way or another, unless we do concessions, which means they pay less, but invariably give people grants, so it usually comes back to us. I mean, it's something we perhaps need to look at, but I don't want to not disencourage the wrong word, not to encourage local groups to keep going. It does say referees' fees, new kit, etc. So, as I said, if we give them £100, they spend that where they want to spend it. We can't dictate that to them, but I think we perhaps need to have a look at the grant system in future and see how we do it. I know we did discuss multiple grants. We said we wouldn't accept grants more than once a year from one organisation, or they're related to each other. So we did agree that one. It's purely what people want to do. And say it's £100 for a village team, £50 if it's outside the village. Can I just, who's first?
Well, I don't know.
Go on. Sorry,
Colin was before me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I understand it, this football team revolves around the Little Leicester pub, because they're all over 18. Why aren't they going to the brewery for a grant? Why are they coming to Anston Parish Council?
They may well go to the brewery for a grant.
Well, yeah, but hang on. The brewery has a damn sight more funds than we do, and I just don't see why Anston Parish Council should give a grant to a pub football team.
Well, we've traditionally given grants to any organisation in the village if they comply with what we wanted, and they're gonna, it's gonna be spent for the benefit of the people that play it and exercise, keep fit, etc., etc. You'd be right, but people do apply to other places for grants. The more money they can get, the better, the more solvent they are. They can keep going, because football team, Sunday League football team is extremely expensive these days, but with pitch hire, insurance, etc., etc. So it's not a cheap item. And they said, I don't know whether they apply elsewhere for grants or not, but they certainly, we can't stop them applying here because they're a local organisation.
No, I'm not against them applying, but what I'm thinking, we're under a lot of financial constraints, and 50 quid or 100 quid is 50 quid or 100 quid. And I just wonder why, what evidence is there that they have actually said to the brewery, give us 500 quid?
Well, they don't have to supply us with that information, are they, sure?
But they have, they've actually said that they're raising £300 from businesses. So they have got additional
It
funds.
does list it. I mean, they'll obviously go around and raise money from where they can to keep the team viable, otherwise it falls up. I mean, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Personally, if we start stopping certain groups within the village applying for grants, then we're going to have to do it to everybody.
Well, no, I think you're taking that out of context. I'm just on about a pub football team.
But there's pub football teams in Anson have always got grants from the parish councils. I'm going back to when I played. We got a grant from the parish council, and it's always been there to try and help local organisations keep going rather than see them fall. I mean, I want to see people using this pitch. I want to see people using Krogan pitch eventually, because we've got a facility up there that's not used. So I think just to give them a helping hand, we set an amount of grants for next year, or this year. So it's not as though we haven't got the money.
Chair.
It's what you want to decide. Sorry.
You read the financial details of it, because they already raised £200 for events, and they already, businesses are sponsoring for £300 quid, so they've got 500 quid there from other people, haven't they, already?
Well, but
It's on the financial declaration. So isn't that doing something towards it for themselves?
well, yeah, they're helping themselves.
Query, it says for the brewery, they've already gone to somebody.
Well, you have to raise money from everywhere to run a football team.
Can I just interrupt? Sorry to interrupt. I want to interrupt there because we're discussing, we've been given a grant form that has financial information for private clubs. Can I just say we need to exercise a bit of discretion when we talk about other people's finances? Sorry for interrupting, but I think we need to be careful.
Scott?
Yeah, for a start, did you used to go away, when you were playing, did you used to go away in a horse and cart?
I think that's a bit of an unfair, push bike.
Apart from that, I brought this up before, why can't we, as we push for cash, why can't we tone down these grants a little? If it's only 5 or 10%.
I think that's probably a discussion that we need to have when we're setting the budget for next year later on. I think we are where we are this year. We've set an amount for grants for local groups. I think that's something that, as I say, when people come up with ideas, then we'll sit around at the end of the year and be discussing, and we'll have a look at the budget, because we have got to make some savings. But at this moment in time, we've got enough money to cope with the grants that we normally get applied for, I think. So, sorry, Miles, you want to...
I'd like to ask actually first if you were making a proposal then as well.
Yes, I was.
Sorry.
Because I would like to second it purely based on the fact that there's other groups which are probably more community orientated than a football group that need money first. I think we should have a review of who we are and where we give it before. And I know we've got a budget for it, but I think there might be more urgent ones than we did before.
I think I'm turning around it. But so, do you want to... Jonathan, sorry, you still want to make a point, Jonathan?
What about the £300?
Right, okay. Philip?
Is the charity allowed to give grants
It can do, but it...
in the form of reduced rate per match for Little Messer, saying we'll knock you £5 a match off, maybe 12 home matches a year?
The money comes from the parish council.
I appreciate that.
Anyway, so,
but
again, we've set the budgets, or we set the fees level for this year to get back to starting discounting for football matches and stuff like that. It's an issue that needs to be discussed. It's an idea, we can look at it, but I need to move on with this to get this one sorted out. I need somebody to either make a proposal that we pay a month. Has somebody made a proposal we pay a month? Oh, sorry, your proposal was not to... Right. Can you just go through it again?
Yes, sorry. I proposed that we hold these applications, so any non-essential applications for grant funding from the council be held over until we have time to discuss the grant application process at a later meeting.
The only thing I would say to that is, how do you decide which is non-essential grant?
At the moment, anything other than a grant to keep charity running.
Chair, point of order, we've already passed this in a previous finance meeting, that there will be £100 for people in the village and 50 for those not in the village. It's already been passed and approved. All we're asking to do is to let these be part of it. If you're going to give 100 quid, they're going to give it straight back anyway. So it's going out the left-hand pocket into the right, so it's no skin off our nose, is it? It's a different proposal.
I think the point is that we're going to be under some financial pressure, and I think we need to scrutinise who we're giving money to. And I think it's a reasonable thing. We are a new parish council, so I agree with what Drew said.
Right,
I second what you
so can I just say we've got one each and then one discussion each and then we round up and then we take a...
Can I just
Anybody?
say,
Sorry,
Clive,
Christy, yeah.
we should be seen to be treating each group the same. If you're going to start saying this one can have it and that one can't, then it's not fair, is it?
No, I agree with you, because once you do that, you set a precedent, nobody gets a grant in that.
For this year, they should have them.
I personally agree with you. I think we've got that in place for this year, but I think it's a discussion to have when we're setting the budget for next year. I mean, the clerk does monitor the level of grant expenditure, but I think the money's being set there. I think it's a discussion for later on, but like you say, it's, if you can't pick and choose really,
No,
it's going to be very
can't
difficult.
differentiate.
You've got to be even-handed, so either everybody gets a grant or nobody gets a grant, or they get different levels, but it becomes too complicated if we go down. So, I mean, I'll take Drew's proposal now. Anybody else want to speak? Stuart?
Well, yeah, what I'm going to say is, again, I'm with you on what you're saying. The Little Meister football team, because I'm an expert at football, I presume the season's finished, and I don't know when the season starts again. Rugby's my game. Right, so if we were to defer this particular grant tonight, it's not going to have a detrimental effect on their football team, is it? Could we possibly, I'm suggesting, could we possibly defer, go with what Drew's saying?
We've got to take Drew's proposal anyway.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Drew, but defer this payment for tonight, because it's not an urgent payment we need to make.
But that's not what you propose, is it, tonight? It's
No,
to
I'm
defer this
proposing that we...
Point for me, what do you have to pay for before the season starts? What fees do you get to pay for?
League fees, insurance, kit obviously if you need it.
So then it's got to be, they've got to have money before...
Yeah, you would need to pay that in August before you start playing in September.
The
You've got to have the league fees before you can join the leagues.
The point I'm making is, Drew's got a proposal on the table which we're going to have to vote on. This is actually asking if we want to give a grant to the football team. And what I'm saying is, the decision on giving a grant to the football team can be delayed in light of the proposal.
Right, well, that's it as far as I'm concerned, our discussion. So, do you want to sum up then, Drew?
Yes, just to very, very quickly sum up. I'm not proposing that we treat any groups applying for grants in a different way. All I'm doing is proposing that we don't consider these, as long as, if they're not essential for the running of the charity, for example, that we hold these over and consider them after we've had a review of the grant application process.
Chair.
Okay.
Chair,
That's it. I'm sorry, John.
I didn't give a chance to make an amendment. You've just taken the proposal and said...
So go on there, it's the amendment.
The amendment is that we pay the 100 quid as we've done for every other organisation, and it's because we've already agreed this in the past finance meeting. The time to change it is for the budget for the next meeting. You can't change a decision that's already been made.
So what's the amendment then?
Sorry,
John?
Stuart, hang on. No, wait a minute. Right. No. Right, so Michael said that you can't have that amendment because that totally overturns the vote, because one is not to pay and the other is to pay. So am I right in that?
It negates the original
That
proposal.
amendment can't be discussed or voted on.
So we're saying that John's amendment negates the original proposal. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
You can't have a proposal and somebody propose an amendment
opposite.
to totally go opposite to what it's done.
You can amend the proposal, but you can't put an amendment that's totally opposite. So we're back to Drew's proposal. Yes, can Michael read it out?
The proposal is to hold all non-essential grant applications until the subject of grant aid policy has been discussed. I suppose what you could discuss is whether that is non-essential.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, has the council already paid out grants to some groups?
Not this financial year.
No, I don't think so. Not this year. This is the first.
So this is
lot.
the first.
First, yeah.
So we wouldn't at this stage be treating some groups
No, we'll have
to another.
Yeah, I'm going to cut it short there, so we need a seconder, don't we, for...
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ivan. Can I...
No, Miles did that.
So we've had a proposal and a seconder. Can I have a vote on Drew's proposal, please?
Sorry, is that works, that's right?
Yeah?
Oh,
Oh.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm hesitant, 'cause I've seen a problem already.
8. Those against?
We'll get that.
2 minutes, it'll come up.
Proposal's carried. Consider approve grant to Northampton Methodist Church. So, have we got the same again? Do we have to go through?
Can I comment?
That's dictated policy now for every grant that comes in.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, that one's failed. Item 9, approve payments and sign checks and approve grants, Reed Hall, hire if any. Signatories, Councillors Ireland, Jepson, Clark and Senior Administrator. Please got the same. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. There we are, yeah. Yeah, I've got this somewhere. Bear with me. Yes. You've got them all in front of your council. Transfer, anybody, any questions?
paper review.
Colin, I think you had a question last time that you thought was a charity issue, which accountants about your mag. You were going to ask about your mag distributing of the newsletter. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to ask that?
Yeah, I
question,
can't
please?
understand why is the parish council...
Please, Colin.
Sorry. Why is the parish council incurring costs for distributing a commercial magazine?
It's not.
It makes a profit.
It's not. We've got to pay them to deliver our newsletter.
No, it says your mag.
No, it's when it says April newsletter, that's our newsletter.
Our newsletter.
They deliver it with their magazine.
Right.
Just to clarify,
Right.
we're not delivering their magazine
No,
for them.
that's what I thought.
We're not quite
Look,
got to that.
that is the...
point yet, but
I apologise, but that is the way it went.
We had difficulties with delivery before, but now we're using, because they deliver everywhere in the village, more or less. They take our newsletter out with them, so it saves us our staff being all over the place.
Okay,
for a few days. So that just answers your question. Anybody else got any comments on it? No? I think, just to make a suggestion, I think, sorry, go on, Miles,
There's
and then
one or
I'll...
two things on there which I think should have brought forward.
You don't use your mic.
There's one or two points on there which need to be brought.
Would you speak into the mic?
There's one or two things on there that should be brought forward to be discussed first, among some of these.
This
Oh,
is
sorry,
payment.
sorry, yeah.
No. I think all this other stuff, I think we need a meeting in the not too distant future when we get everybody up on the council to go through how this works, because I'm sure people aren't quite sure how the system works and what relate to in some of these. So it's all right, people have been doing it for years, you know, but I think we need to bring people up to speed. Can I
Just to quickly explain, what's happening tonight is we've got all the checks here and the invoices for either a fortnight, for the charities for a month's worth, for the council it's a fortnight's worth. All the checks prepared and signed, and then the council approves those checks for payments. The other figures that you looked at earlier with the charity, you will do later here, when you get the accounts for the month end of April, then all those payments have already been approved at this meeting, because at this meeting we've got all the invoices here, so you can check the fine detail of those payments before they're actually made and before the checks are signed off and sent off. When you're looking at the account a month later, it really is just to make sure that the math is right in the accounts and that the entries look okay. But this is the point at which you query the actual payments, because this is the only point at which a payment can be stopped.
Okay. I need to sign those, don't I? And another signature before we finish tonight. Item 9 then. Sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry, I do apologise. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please, for the payments? Let's do it. Ivan, all those in favour, please show. Thank you. All hire grants, still item 9, Dinnington and District Horticultural Society.
This is the two-minute, that was your two-minute warning.
This is, can I just inform you, this is a different budget. It's not out of
Right.
the...
Oh, I'm still going to talk on it, right? Can I come in?
Yeah.
Right. Besides what we've just done is we've just put a hold on grants. This is actually a grant, regardless of whether it's another budget or not. Now, that's not so much the problem. The problem we have is the horticultural, despite it, just for clarification, despite the name Dinnington and District, it's actually based in Anston now, and all their functions, etc., are held here. So in effect, it is now an Anston type of group. Right, they're asking for 50% discount for the hall, for the hire of the hall. The paperwork we've got in front of us actually shows it for the year, which will be a discount grant of £696. Right. And 94p. The problem I have is this. There are other groups that are asking for free use of the parish hall. This group's asking for 50%. I think they're quite, if we're going to agree, I'm not saying we are or we aren't, but if other groups are getting free use of the parish hall, and there are some groups that at present get free use, I think it's wrong that we're only giving one group 50% and another group 100%. And the ones that are getting it free, there's also, should we say, maybe extras involved from, should we say, like outside events. So the problem I'm putting in front of you is we're not being equal to all the people or all the hall users. I'm of a mind to give them a 50% reduction because they are regular users, they've been a regular users for a number of years, but I still believe it's wrong that some get it for free and some don't.
Jonathan?
Just reading you on the council, I'm not sure which groups get it free, which I'd quite like to know because...
You want to know which ones to get it free?
You can't say anything because he's got an interest in it.
Yeah. I can still talk on that.
Who's got an interest in what? You just have to declare an interest. Right, the groups that I know of will get it free is the skate park group, and again I'm open to corrections if I'm wrong. The skate park group, the Friends Burial Ground group, and I'm looking at Michael, is there any more? I don't think there is, but the point I'm making is we're not treating all the groups. Yeah. Well, the point I'm making is we're not treating every group the same. If one gets it free, all should get it free. If one gets 50%, that's the policy we should have. I don't know, I'm throwing it on for discussion.
John?
It's very difficult this one.
Sorry,
you're trying to compare chalk and cheese. The burial
That's the
ground.
microphone. Sorry.
You're trying to compare chalk and cheese because the burial ground group don't use us very much, but they make a hell of a difference to the burial ground. That's a beautiful place to go to. So I think that we're paying for that by letting them come. It'd be terrible without that group, and yet other groups which only meet here every month should not get and give no return back to the society. Lots of them give nothing back. The Horticultural Society, for instance, make their own gardens look nice and have a demonstration here, but the cemetery group, I mean, go up and have a look and see what it looked like 12 months ago. It were rotten. It's very good now.
I think you've missed the point. The point I'm getting
The point
at
is,
is you give fair to each group, not who does what for us.
So you can't compare one with somebody like the burial ground because they're two different aspects and they give a different contribution to the society that we live in. And I think that they should get free.
Can I just say, I think we're making this extremely difficult for ourselves to move forward because we're going to have that many varieties and options. We're going to be absolutely strong and we've got to bear in mind. You've got to bear in mind that we're trying to keep groups and other organisations going in the village, and it's we're not going to have to do that. We've got to follow this policy, but yeah. Can I? True. Yeah.
I think that the last 2 points made by Stuart and John just highlight that we need to put this on hold for now and review the whole grant process.
I mean, I agree with again what you said there, Drew, but can I just say is, I'm going to propose, the paperwork in front of us is for I think it's nearly the whole year, which comes to 696 and 94p. I'm going to make a proposal, and the proposal is this, that we give a grant to the DDHS discount of 50% for the parish hall for when's the next function? Because it's quite soon, isn't it?
July.
We're giving 50% parish hall reduction just for that one event. And like I say, we will then come back at some time to discuss these issues in length.
I think we need, it's not some time, I think we need to come back fairly urgently.
Well, yeah, but I'm just trying to work a way forward through it, because I think...
Yes.
Second that, Chair.
Can I just clarify, Michael's just said that they've actually had the spring fair already, that was held a few weeks since. You have to bear in mind that they're asking for a 50% discount, so they're actually paying 50% of the costs. And I think you've got to be mindful that if you depending on what route you go down, you're going to force some of these organisations to cease to exist, and that's going to affect a lot of people in the village, and you're really going to not win a lot of friends by going down. It's only my view.
Chair.
I mean, it's down to the parish council to make a decision.
I don't think we're trying to run sort of groups out with business and stop them from operating. I think what's been suggested is that we take a fresh look at all of them and see which ones are valid and what benefits they have. And it's a bit unfair to give somebody 600 quid and somebody 100 quid. It just seems unfair to me. And I think it's right what people have been saying. We've got to look at it right across the board and have a fair system and a fair policy of giving grants to different groups. It seems to me it's built up ad hoc over the years. Oh, we'll give 50 to them, 100 to them, 600 to them.
We're not actually giving them money, are we?
Yeah, but it does mean that. It means £600 in income we're not getting. But 50% grant Sunday is an awful lot of money.
Can I come back in again, because I've just reread this. So if you're saying that they've already had their spring fair, one would assume that money or that grant was from last financial year. We're in a new financial year now. Now, if
it would be in this, because it was in April, so it would be in
right. So in effect, they're asking for a 50% grant for use of the whole ad. Now, I don't think we should be backdating grants, but right, their next fair then, according to this, is in autumn. And I would argue...
There's a July show, lower down.
You see, this is where we start getting ourselves into all sorts of pickles, because we haven't got proper policies. No. I mean, we're asking here to grant them a 50% grant for the whole of the year. Now, what I'm trying to get to is, if they've got an urgent one coming up next, I'm of the mind to give them a 50% grant on a one-off basis until we've discussed everything going on.
Can I just make one final point? What you will do, you will lose money if you don't get people to use this facility, because you might be giving them a 50% grant, but if they don't use this facility, we're not going to get anything whatsoever back from them. At the moment, we're getting 50% of the charges back into the parish council. If they choose to go somewhere else or don't exist, then we're losing money altogether.
I understand that, but it just seems very random that we're giving them 50% and somebody else was saying they shouldn't have anything at all. I think what's been proposed is, and what was approved a few minutes ago, was that we take a chance to review all the grant aid applications.
Well, if you're going to do that, you've got to do it very quickly, because this is going to stack up, and we're going to even have much bigger agendas than we've already got. We're never going to get to the end of it. So if people are making these decisions, then you've got to be prepared to turn up and make the decision as to how you make it work. We've got no other option to that, so I'll leave it up to members to decide.
Can I propose that we meet very soon at a very short meeting, as many councillors as possible, so we can sort this out?
I doubt it will be short meeting.
Yeah, a short one without lots and lots of agenda items. But I think it is important we need to discuss it, and I appreciate time's passing for different organisations and different groups. So to me, it's one of the most important things, because we have got to be accountable to the public for the money that we say yes, people can have. And I think the way it's just been done ad hoc over the years has been great for groups, but we really need to look at it and I think we need to look at it quite quickly.
Well, I think on that basis...
We don't want to put groups out of business, Clive. That's
You need to have a one-off meeting then, and I think you need to, everybody that's wanting to put an application in, and I quote the answer today, you're not actually, you're not asking for money.
No.
Well, that's fine. But I think everybody that's likely to, we need to have a meeting to decide that and set a policy of how we're going to go forward, because we need to let them know as soon as possible it's going to affect how they operate or don't.
I agree, so I agree, it has to be quickly, it has to be done soon, but we also need a list of who comes to us on a regular basis asking for a grant, and I'm quite happy to sit here with other people and say that group, and as Drew's just said, we need some sort of tier of grants to different people. If it's somebody like the Horticultural Society that has hundreds of members, then obviously we can perhaps give them more. If it's a football team that's only got 20 members, then maybe they should have a bit less. But at least we need some criteria, don't we?
Can I just ask, the meeting we're having in July, is it the beginning of July or the end of July, do you know? Well, nobody knows what date it is in July.
Sorry, just bear with me, Stuart, just let people have a word. I'm just looking, I think, I'll bring in Jonathan, then I just want to make a point. You go ahead, sorry.
I'm saying, again, with the first meeting, I thought we would have to keep to a schedule of things that we're discussing there, not wavering on to other stuff.
Well, we're trying to...
And dragging it on.
I'd like to do that, but unfortunately some of the stuff is not that clear cut, and this is a quite a wide-ranging...
I just thought it was
what I'd like to propose is...
It's historic problems we've had.
Can we contemplate... I'm seriously worried about we're not going to get very much farther. I'm concerned that some people are waiting for answers. Can I ask... We've got the next meeting on... What date is it, Michael? 15th. Our councillors minded to have another meeting next week to try and get through some of this stuff, because we're not making a great deal of progress. We've got that much to talk about. Everybody's wanting to, as I say, I don't want to stop, but I think we need to have another meeting in between.
Clive, we're going to run a great risk here of destroying the bloody fabric of the village.
John, I don't disagree with you. That's why we need another meeting to try and get on top of this stuff.
We're going to have another meeting. Well, when I proposed that, it was a proposal to look at different grants, different groups, so we can move forward. I don't think anybody's saying people can't have the money, and what's being said is we should look at what they're having, and if we need one small separate one-off meeting to discuss that, then that's fine by me. But if you want a meeting to discuss all these other things, we need to prioritise them and look at what time.
Well, we've tried to that, and we've sort of we haven't even got down to the first page of this, and I'm conscious that we've got an item we've got one or two items, but there's one on a planning issue that needs to be resolved by the 12th of July.
Chairman.
Sorry, 12th of June, so we need to get an answer sent off to.
I'm going to second Mrs. Thornton's proposal so we can get this particular item finished with.
So do you
Amy made a proposal earlier, so...
Can you just have your proposal?
To pay for the next
I thought there was
event.
one proposal. Right.
To give us time to discuss it. Was that
Right. The question I asked, I don't know if we had an answer, is do we know when their next July meeting is? Is it the beginning of the...
Beginning of July.
Right.
Is that right? It's first week, I think.
I've
seen it advertised, 7th, something like that. I haven't
Right.
the diary, but...
To try and make progress, although I understand everything that's being said, I'm going to propose that the DDHS are given a 50% discount for the hall hire for the July show only. And all the other requests will be discussed at a later date.
And I'll second that.
It's just to make, it's not ideal, but it's just to try and make some progress.
So we've got for proposing a seconder. Can I have all those in favour, please? Thank you. That's passed. So
Can I just come in again? Now we've done that, cleared it. There's obviously an issue about having a meeting. Can we now have another proposal to have a one-off meeting at some time?
Can I propose?
No, it's not an agenda item. So
No, but it's involved in this item.
So can we get round that? I can call a meeting.
Right, okay, then.
So I will try and arrange it with Clark after this to see when. It would be next week, I would presume.
Yeah.
So if you keep your Wednesday next week.
Can you make it clear, Clark?
Yeah.
But if members can't make it, then that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not expecting everybody to, yeah. It would be a night again, I presume, anyway.
How many do we need for a quorum?
5.
So as long as we get 5.
Anyway,
Who said 4?
It's fine.
It's 5. So, Wednesday night preferable? Not Monday? Well, I'll sort that out with Michael and send an email around then, and we'll have a discussion on that. But as I say, we're still going to maybe have to put another meeting in later on in this month to get on top of all this other work. Otherwise, we're going to be.
bear in mind as well that the Automobile Society have a big bank balance,
I know.
much bigger than ours.
Yep. Yeah. Can I move on then to item number 10, which is to approve accounts for April 2015. Try and get through this as fast as we can.
Right, Chair, can I, on the account bank reconciliation for April, can I propose, again, it's just the ins and outs of what goes in and out of the bank, can I propose that we accept that C10A?
I'll accept that.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Can I propose on the second?
So we've got receipt now.
Right, can I propose that, Chair, that we accept the receipts schedule for April? There's only the preset support grant and first instalment and untaxed interest. Can I propose we accept that?
Fairly straightforward. Everybody happy with that? Seconded. All those in favour, please show. Thank you. Payment schedule. Next one. It's quite a long item. Anybody spot anything that they desperately want to ask a question of? Yeah? No?
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
To do with the skate park, actually. 509342, expenditure by skate park, £203. Is that out of the £500 that he was granted? It's your personal money?
It's their own bank account.
Yeah.
Right. So why are we...
Their money that they've deposited with us.
Did we not have a I'm not going with the skate park, but did we not have a discussion where I said I didn't think it was right and proper that we were doing banking for private community group? I mean, are we allowed to do private banking for community groups?
Apparently we are, yeah. I can't remember. It's been clear with YLCA, apparently we can do that and hold their funds for them.
So what control have we got over that money then? Absolutely none. But we're banking it.
Well, it's there. There's only that.
It's not going against your money. I'm just going on a procedural thing. I mean, personally, I could be totally wrong, but it just seems odd that we're giving a group private banking and we've no control over the money.
Well, it's there.
It's still money, I know, that's what I'm saying.
But
Right, all right, I'll leave it at that.
So how will they make withdrawals?
We offer invoices and receipts.
Can you use the microphone?
As a group, we offer the invoices and receipts of things that we've spent.
Still can't see you.
Use the microphone then.
We just offer the invoices and receipts on things that we've spent ourselves from our personal
You
account.
have to withdraw it through the clerk.
I think you
Get
provide a
your own
check,
money.
isn't it? That's how it works, isn't it? Essentially, yeah.
Right, that's how it works.
Because it's our money, we don't really need
That's how it
to
will work.
I presume so, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I,
There's not, I think there's only
Yeah, there's not
a
much
minimal
left now.
amount anyway.
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
can bank in there.
It's just what we raise when we can.
can I do another one? Down towards the bottom, 509367, weed control, £850. Where do we control the weeds? What weeds are there? Yeah, I mean, in a way, I'm not calling the penny, I'm trying to work out where we actually do the weed killing, because it seems very expensive to me for what we do.
That's for a bit quite a clean.
I think the football pitch as well, which is quite expensive, spray the field.
Right, okay, we'll come back to that later in the year probably. Alright, thanks.
Anybody else? Can I have a...
Yeah, so I'll go on with the one. Below that one, there's an invoice for the cemetery. Is that for cutting grass? Sorry? Right, can I ask why are we employing outside contractors to cut grass in the cemetery? When we have... Right, I'll ask the question again. Yeah.
That we didn't have the equipment to do the first cut because it was so dense, the grass in that particular section.
Right, and does this happen every year?
The first cut was usually most difficult.
Right, so it's quite possible we need to look at probably investing in a different type of mowing machine.
Yeah, I mean, that's... It's what...
All right, we'll leave it at that, we'll leave it at that.
Against what it costs I affirm once a year, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I asked a question, I got an answer, we'll leave it at that.
Anybody else got any queries on that? Can I have a... Sorry,
We're going
Christine.
to have a discussion about the old garden.
That's not on this. It's irrelevant. We'll on the agenda. Can I just have? Can you just use the microphone, please, Christine? It's a question about a meeting on regarding the old library, and it's on the agenda for next month. Yes, it'll be on the agenda, but it's just to give people a chance to get the hang of things, but then it will be back on the agenda, because we need to do this.
I think it needs pointing out to the new councillors
what
a white elephant it is.
We've got white elephants and green elephants, I'm afraid, but that's another matter. Right, can I have a proposal and a seconder for these, please? Thank you. All those in favour? Accepted. Thank you. Is that dealt with that then, Michael? Have we got anything other? Oh, sorry, overview accounts published on the council's website.
Can I propose that we accept the accounts overview? It's a condensed version of what we just discussed for going onto the web page.
Everybody happy with that? Seconder? All those in favour, please show. Thank you. To discuss management accounts.
Is this the budget summary then?
Yeah.
Can I propose that we accept the budget summary on this? It's obviously a healthy figure because we've only just received the precept for the year. Basically at this stage I would suggest it's just for information only, so I propose we accept it.
Want a seconder for those? Or for that proposal? Sorry about all this arm raising. Hasn't done the job. All those in favour please show. Thank you. Item 12, to receive report on debtors. You've got that in front of you. Anybody got any opinions? I think we need to...
I'll come in if you want me to.
Stuart, if you want a quick word.
Just need a bit of explanation. Right, the first one is Neighbourhood Watch. Why does the Neighbourhood Watch always money? Right, so we're paying for all their photocopying.
They pay us for it.
This is from the council to somebody else?
Yes, they owe us money. Sorry.
Well, I'm confused now. Somebody just said that they pay us, so if they pay us, they can't be debtors.
Yeah, they are. They've not paid us for the photocopy.
We should do, but they don't.
Well, they do it fault.
Right, so hang on a minute. Now I'm totally...
It's only from April this year.
Right, now I'm totally confused. Right, just so I can right around. Did we have an agreement that we would allow the council, Neighbourhood Watch people to use our photocopy? Was it free of charge?
No.
Right, we're paying it. That's what I'm not sure, that's why I'm asking the question.
They had difficulty, I think, getting it done in costs, so we said we could do it whatever rate and they pay us for doing those copies.
Over the past year, over the past year, I know this is only for April, have they paid on time normally? We haven't got a problem, that's what I'm saying.
The debtors is the 30th of April. So they've had invoices issued to them on the 16th of April, 23rd of April, and 30th of April.
I understand that. What I'm saying, right, I understand that. What I'm saying is, there's a debt. I don't know when the invoices went out, but you're telling me we've got a debt. Now what I'm asking, let me ask the question, have they been good payers over the past year? Now if you give me the answer yes, I don't see this a problem, and as you say, the invoice has probably gone out.
Well, they only owe money from the 16th of April this year, so
Right.
they must have paid everything else that they've had.
Right, and that's the answer I wanted, thank you, yeah.
Okay.
Right, well, I've got some more, if we're looking at those, right. Allotments. You've got lots of people outstanding for the allotments. Do you have reasons for that?
We don't need to pay until 1st of January.
Right.
Next year.
Yeah.
So technically, you're not debtors until we go over the
It's
timeline.
been flagged up that some will have paid on 1st of April or whatever, and then some will pay on 1st of January. So there's a payment system or whatever that allows you to do it. It's up to you. If you want to pay it off at the beginning of April, then you can. If you want
I'll leave that because I know later on there's something about our contracts with this.
Bring Jonathan in.
Yeah, I do actually owe my rent, so if you do need it quite soon, pay it.
Yeah, you should have declared an interest.
you owe money?
Declared an interest.
But I don't have to pay
Have you
till...
declared?
Just declare the personal
I don't have
interest.
to pay till January, so...
Just declare the personal interest.
No personal interest now, that's it.
Well, I want some more on this then, because we're going to have to look at these contracts anyway later in the year, because it just seems odd when you're giving people such a big, massive time frame to pay rents, but we'll look at it later.
The law, I looked at all that when we were doing the allotments to see how you could demand payments and then brought
It's
it to
crazy.
the law.
And I believe it's under the Allotments Act as well, the different payments.
Yeah. Okay, can I, are we accepting that? Thank you. Seconder? All those in favour? Right, can I just make a proposal now? I'm conscious that the two ladies from the Anston Day group, and I want to try and get around this, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it tonight, but is there any way we can, how do we need to, if I can just open this up, now this is my prerogative, just to try and move this on, because you want to get some discussion with us. Can we meet, how can we meet it to make sure it's a way forward? Well, that's what I was going to suggest. If we organise this one for next Wednesday and we set a time scale, we give you the time and we've done the discussion on that. Can I work around that with the clerk and come back to you?
Clive, sorry. I think when the two ladies gave the presentation last time, we just asked them to present some information to us so we could make a decision on whether we support it or not. I think they come back with some very, very good information,
Well, so do I.
and I think there's enough information there for me personally to make a decision on whether I would support it.
Can I just come in? Are we now going to discuss this, or are we suggesting we bring it forward? Because, to be honest, I think there's other items that are more time urgent than this actual thing. They're suggesting the air ambulance that's coming in.
Well,
We're restricted in time, we've got 10 minutes.
we're not going to get...
No.
The thing is, we've had a presentation, we've had some information, and at the end of the day, maybe it is a good idea that we can discuss it in this extra meeting. We don't need any more presentations.
Can I...
Can we just ask these ladies what they do?
Well, I've already said they don't do whole free.
So,
But what I'm saying, I think we should discuss this a lot more, and I don't believe we've got enough time
make a
tonight.
suggestion way forward? We're not going to get through all these items tonight, and it's not going to do anybody justice. Can we organise, or is anybody open to another meeting next Monday night to try and get this?
Monday or Wednesday?
Wednesday, please, Clive.
Wednesday.
Not Monday.
We need to set some sort of timescale for getting rid of some of these, because if we go to, sorry.
No, you can't speak. You can't speak on the meeting.
If we go to the 15th of June, we're still not going
No,
to...
you can't speak at all, you can't speak in the meeting.
Hang on, can I just allow Mrs Thomas a minute?
Well, Chair, I'm going to go right. We've got a problem in the past, a historic problem, when members of the public speaking while they're in a session. Quite rarely, you've told those people to be quiet tonight. We've had another member of the public who was wanting to speak, and they were saying quite rarely that a person couldn't speak because we're in session. If we're going to allow people to constantly interrupt, we're never going to get through the business we're not getting through.
Okay, on that basis then, we'll arrange another, because we don't seem to have a consensus opinion, we'll arrange another meeting, and
Christmas tree.
There's lots of stuff we can binge on, but I think we need another meeting before the one on the 15th, because we've still got a massive amount of stuff to do, and I'm concerned about the air ambulance, the grants.
Yeah.
We need to do that tonight. So Martin just said we need to do the air ambulance tonight. So can I ask members, if I suggest another meeting next Monday night, as long as we quorum, are you happy to go along with that?
I'm happy to go along with that.
It means another one the following Monday, which is a regular meeting, but I think we're going to have to just stick at it and get through it. We've got no choice. So,
You're not allowed to speak in the meeting, so don't shout at me. I'm just saying, for the public, the hands of the public. You're not allowed to speak.
can I just have a bit of peace, please?
You ask to stop abusing me.
Peace and quiet.
And I ask Mr. Cabinet to start making comments on the meeting as well.
Thank you. Kevin, can you just, please? No.
So we're not allowed to speak in the meeting. If there's win-win for one, it should be win-win for all.
But if people are not going to take any notice, then we shan't be discussing it. We've got the air ambulance, which is crucial to discuss tonight. We need to get that sorted. I'm going to propose we have another meeting next Wednesday night, starting at 7 o'clock, and it'll be a full, it'll incorporate the grants, it'll incorporate Anston Day, and whatever else we need to get through to it. And if there's another one the week after, then we'll have to do that one as well. We've got to get through these items, because we're going to be playing catch-up forever and a
I'm happy to
day.
propose that, Clive.
Can I have a proposal for that, and a second? Is everybody in favour of a meeting next Wednesday night, 7 o'clock? We'll set a revised agenda, and we'll make sure that all these items are on. We'll pull the necessary ones out of that. The other stuff will just get on hold that's uncritical, and we'll make sure that time is given.
Right, Chair, I'm standing on a point of order. I'm standing on a point of order. Right.
Thank you. Quiet, please. I'll ask everybody to leave.
Now you see the problem here. I'm standing on a point of order.
Just allow Councillor Thornton to speak.
Over the past few years, we've had lots of serious problems. I'll wait till people
Val, please.
Quiet. Right.
Yes, just allow him to speak.
Over the last few years, we've had lots, and everybody knows, lots of problems with people in the audience shouting out, making wrong comments, etc. Now,
You were one of them to do it.
well,
John,
I'm
please.
doing it now. Right.
John.
I'm on a point of order, Councillor. You should be speaking when I'm on a point of order. Right. The point I'm making is this. We've had people shouting out again tonight. The rule is, when the council or the charity is in session, members of the public are not allowed to call out or speak. It's our meeting, not theirs. If we allow one person to do it, another person will do it, and we just descend into chaos again. I personally think, and I'm not bothered if people are hooting at me and making derogatory remarks at me, I personally think if we're going to apply the rule, it has to be applied vigorously, and it has to be applied to everyone.
Can I just make a point? I've been to different town council meetings, and the chairman is allowed to ask people to speak on certain issues.
Yes.
Mrs. Larry at 5 point. You've been there, Christine.
Yes.
You've been there as well, Stuart.
Yes,
and
as long
if
as it's
members approve
controlled.
that, it can be done. So, in future, we'll have a look at that. I've got a prerogative to do that and ask people if they want to speak. But I'm not going to have hooting, shouting, whoever from the audience. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. And I will allow people to make comments. If it's valid to what we're discussing, and it's got a substance to it, then I'll allow people to do it. But the past chair of Dinnington did allow comments from the audience if he thought that if they could make a valid point and contribution to it. I don't mind that at all, but I don't want people sitting there shouting and bawling at each other and arguing, because we're going back to where we were 3-4 months in, and we don't want that, and I don't want it, and I'm sure the new members of the council must be thinking, what on earth are we doing here? And I can see the sort of light on the faces, and I don't want to go down that route. We won't be sitting here wasting this time. We want to make some progress. So as far as I'm concerned, we'll leave it at that.
Can I just say that, Chair, I understand something about using your discretion. If we're going to go down that line where the chairman will be given powers of discretion to invite members to speak, can we have a discussion prior to that happening, because it's a change of policy, or should we say, an unwritten policy, and I think it needs to be discussed by council before we start changing our policies. I'm just asking for that change.
Sorry, John.
Is in the statute that you can invite?
No, there's nothing on it. There's nothing on it.
If it's somewhere that I can use my discretion, if somebody wants to contribute to a discussion, then you could, as long as members agree with it, all I have to do is set our members, I think that's the rule, happy with that, then we can go ahead and do it. I don't want to do it every 5 minutes, but I think it's important if people have got...
Quite relevant sometimes.
For your benefit, for you to get advice from somebody...
Well, it is precisely, yeah. If I need more information from them, then it gives them the opportunity to give it.
And your chairman.
Can I make a proposal, Mr. Chairman, please?
Yeah.
That we end this meeting at item 15 and go into private session so we can crack on.
We're
Yeah.
going to finish in 5 minutes anyway, well, 3 minutes.
Well, can I just, we need to get through,
The air ambulance.
we need to get to the air. I'm quite happy to do that. The planning items, the only one that's, if we do 13 then, so appoint 2 members to carry out internal audit of April accounts. Have I got 2? I'll do that if anybody else wants. I need to sign the checks, so if somebody would be prepared to stop behind as well, just to go through. So Drew, are you okay with that? I need another check signed.
I'll sign checks.
No. Anybody?
I'll sign checks.
Okay. Okay.
No, signing checks, he said, you want another check signed?
You're not on the list yet, but you can do the accounts.
I'll do the accounts.
So who do you need then?
Me and Drew are going to do the accounts and Claire's going to sign the checks.
Okay. To receive update on buildings valuation for insurance purposes. Well, we've had that already, so can I just have a proposer, a seconder for that? A seconder, thank you, Stuart. All those in favour? Right, that's that out of the way. Confirming renewal of the insurance policy. Again, proposer, seconder. Seen that before. All those in favour? Thank you. Item 16. I'm not going to go to item 16. There is only one item, and I propose if we have the meeting next week, we can discuss that. If I can ask people's agreement, we did resolve at a meeting in October, November of last year to support an application to get something done with the Flaxton site to try and improve the look of that area of the village. This is on outline planning permission for up to 30 properties on there. But we've got to get a response in by the 12th. So is everybody happy for me to put some... We've got a list of points already that we thought were relevant. If I get that to the clerk, and then we can bring that back next Wednesday. And if you approve it, then the clerk can send it off in time for the deadline, which is next Friday, I think.
Take account of the fact that we objected to the one on A57 because of the amount of traffic, because there's only 9 houses.
Yeah.
And there you went over 30.
Up to 30.
Up to 30, which could be...
But we did... But the problem is...
You're going to need some more traffic.
Well, this is items. If members can think about it for next week, I'll draw up a list of not objections but comments, and I think obviously the pedestrian issue, and the good news about it is they're proposing to knock down the office building, which is going to be a benefit to everybody. Hopefully it'll certainly look a little better if that goes. So if people want to have a look at that for next week, any comments, and we'll sort that one out.
Cash machines.
So we've got to item 19, which is the, just refresh, 1923, and that's the air ambulance, isn't it? If we can, we need to extend, can I just have a...
Well, we still got the secret session to do, Claire, that's why we need to get this one done.
So can I just have it's in your pack, it's consider approve request by the Steam Rally to allow the Yorkshire Air Ambulance to visit the event.
Right. Can I come on this? I've sent an email to Claire, but I haven't got anybody's email, so I can't send it to anybody. Right. Philippa Sandbag, I've had experience with working with helicopters, and I should imagine Ivan's been in a few of them himself. When the air ambulance is on an emergency call and it lands...
It's gone dead.
Swap it.
When it lands, it lands anywhere. Now, I'm quite sure that the air ambulance is fully insured to land anywhere in an emergency. When helicopters are landing for publicity purposes, there's a different set of rules, and it's all to do with health and safety. Now, the minimum, from my experience, the minimum you normally require is you need some form of either fire engine on standby or somebody with, say, fire extinguishers in case of fuel fires when they land. What, sorry?
The ground crew.
And well, we're going to come on to normally the minimum is an air marshal to bring them down. Now, I'm quite sure that the air ambulance have got their own procedures in place, and they hint that they have in their document, the one-page document we've got. The problem I've got is, while the air ambulance may well be insured to hold, the event organisers, I'm quite sure, haven't got insurance to cover any accident or crowd control incident or anything from the helicopter. So I don't believe that the steam rally's got it. And the next question I'm going to ask is, do we have insurance cover to allow helicopters to land on our land? Now, I know it's been pedantic, but again, through personal experience, helicopters are damn dangerous. Crowd control problems on that day, and there's just fire extinguishers. So I would argue, if we say yes to allow the helicopter to land, I think as a minimum, the steam rally has got to show us an insurance document that covers their event for landing the ambulance.
Right, could I just make, Mark just pass me some information. All we have to do is give permission to land, because it's our land. All the other information is from RMBC. They're working with RMBC to make sure that everything is in place for the helicopter to land.
Right.
I presume the insurances as well. So,
Right, so, well,
this has been planned for, did you say? 4 years.
Right, I'm going to ask the question then. Is the council who owns that land, are we insured for landing helicopters? Yes or no?
I presume, well, it's...
We can't do a presume, it's a yes or a no.
No, their insurance will cover that.
No, you missed the point. The air ambulance is insured to land anywhere in an emergency. When you start landing helicopters for PR purposes, different sets of rules apply. I haven't seen that document, and I'll be very interested in seeing it. What I'm saying is, I haven't got a problem with the helicopter landing, because they will probably be insured. The problem I've got is, there's crowd control issues, and it mentions it in that document. Have the steam rally got insurance to allow helicopters to land? And have we got insurance to allow helicopters to land?
Well, can I just say we're going to have to suspend standing orders because it's gone 9:30. Because can I have somebody to propose that we extend till we discuss this and the other confidential items? Everybody in favour of that? We okay?
Right. I'm all right
with that, Jonathan, or do you need to go? No, that's fine. We've got as long as we quorum, that's all right.
Right.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is, I haven't got a problem with the air ambulance coming, because I think it will be a good event and a crowd pleaser. The problem I've got is we need to be crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It's not been happening under the last administration, and we need to be squeaky clean.
Well, I mean, yeah, we need confirmation that, Colin, we're still in meeting.
Yeah.
No, it's suspending standing orders just allows us to carry on the meeting. It's all right. Yeah, I mean, I presume that they will have all the documentation, and I mean, I don't know from our point of view whether RMBC need. Sorry, Ivan.
Do you mind if I have a quick look at it? I know we all haven't got a copy of it.
Have you got this?
I think RMBC is sort of working on it, Michael. RMBC is working on it. You don't know. Yeah, I think to me, as long as we get a reassurance from the steam rally people that they've got public liability or public indemnity, and the air ambulance have got their own insurance, whether it's an emergency or not, they will be covered. But we need an assurance, and that they make it very clear through their risk assessment, because I'll guarantee they will have to provide a risk assessment that there are safety distances. I've done the helicopter marshalling course, because there are very strict guidelines from the Civil Aviation Authority about distances for landing aircraft next to the public.
That's
And
the-
as long as they give us an assurance, I wouldn't have a problem.
Right, this is the point I was making, I agree with what you're saying. The point I'm making is, at this present moment in time as we're speaking, the only people we believe has got insurance to land that helicopter is the air ambulance. The question I'm asking is, have the steam rally people got liability insurance to cover that? Because if they haven't, and there's an accident...
What we need to do is make sure that they give us that
Right.
assurance. So
If the steam rally...
says they have.
If the steam rally shows us a document that covers the landing of the helicopter, I'm quite happy to accept it.
Right. Can we ask is Siobhan dealing with this, Michael? Can we contact the steam rally organisers and ask for that documentation or whatever? Was a proposal? Do you want to make a proposal?
I'll make a proposal that the air ambulance be allowed to land in Ratford Meadows, subject to confirmation of of the necessary insurance by the steam rally organisers.
Okay. Another seconder? Another seconder, Chris? All those in favour? Thank you. Right, that's that. Can I declare the meeting closed, and we're now going to move into confidential session?